Good morning, sports fans. A little echo right there.
And we're back.
We are back broadcasting live from Jake's Furnishings. You're in the cheap seats. Scott Kirby, Jake Johnston, and Coach Alexander's in with us this morning. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
First time of the season being on with us. A lot going on the past couple weeks. Already 6 games into the season and 6-0. Coach, give us a little bit of outlook and what. Boy, that's a lot of echo. You guys hear that echo?
I don't know. Not at all.
Tell us, are you satisfied where your team's at right now and how they've played? I know you're only 6 games in and still have a lot of improvement. And, you know, where do you see your team at?
Well, defensively, I think we're playing exceptionally well. You know, we've held teams underneath, you know, a lot of, 23 points last night. And I think coming out of the tournament, we were giving up a little over 30 points a game. And, you know, at this point in time, usually your defense is ahead of the offense. And, you know, that's just the normal case. Nobody has had time to work on their offense and, you know, for shooters to get their legs underneath them and everything. So I think our defense has been pretty solid. We still have to continue to do some different things out of it, but offensively, you know, Max Cook and Tyler Horsham hit some shots last night, and I felt like they struggled a little bit in the tournament, but even though they struggled in the tournament, they give us a lot of other things other than shooting, and that's what a player's got to do, is be able to cover up. If they're not doing one thing, they got to be able to do other things. And you know, Tyler in the last game against Cahokia came up with 6 or 7 big rebounds for us. You know, Max Cook, he never has to score for us to be very effective. He's a floor leader, and you know, he's a true point guard where he's pass first and looks for himself second. So you know, when he gets on a roll and gets comfortable shooting and everything, he'll make us a whole lot better.
Well, the Railers coming off, they've winning the Eaton Electrical tournament, going 5-0 in that tournament. Still a pretty solid tournament. Seton Academy, they weren't in it this year, but you replaced it with an athletic Chicago Harlan. Started off the first 2 games kind of slow shooting-wise, you know, but that's going to happen, just trying to get in a rhythm. But finished the tournament strong and had 2 players from Lincoln that made the all-tournament team, and, you know, we kind of discussed it. Ed Bolby had a huge tournament.
I thought Ed had an exceptional tournament, and, you know, but our team is so hard to, you know, who would you pick off of our team, because we're so balanced. And you know, I thought Joey Olden had a very good tournament, and you know, one game it's one kid, another kid the next night and the next night and everything, and you know, you just have to pick your poison, I guess, which one's not going to be hitting tonight. So if we ever get everybody on the same page, we'll be super hard to guard.
Right. Well, if you look up and down the scorebook, it's pretty even scoring, and you're going to have one guy stand out. Max Cook was finally started to hit the 3 last night. I know it was against a Taylorville team that's kind of, well, you know, they came in 4-0, but you know, they had an eye awakener last night coming back to the Central State 8.
Well, I think our tournament is one of the best in the state of Illinois. You know, you want to play the best competition you can. Coming out of that tournament, we found the weaknesses and also our strengths on what we had. And, you know, I think by playing the tough competition early, you find out, so you got things to work on. And you know, Taylorville, you know, they're going to win some basketball games. They lost their point guard, who was the MVP of their tournament, who broke his wrist in the last game, maybe the last minute of the last game. So you know, they were playing without him for the first time, so that's an adjustment that they have to make, and it might take them a little bit of time. But you know, he's planning on being back by the first of the year, and you know, they need him in there to have the leadership. He started for 2 years, so it makes quite a difference. You take somebody out.
We know a little bit about that last year with Joey going down in what, the 2nd or 3rd game.
Well, the 3rd game.
And
then, theirs was a 4th game. So
and that's about when he came back. He came back Collinsville tournament a little bit.
No, he didn't. Joey didn't come back till about the I believe the Meyer or the Country Market
Okay,
down
that's
at
right.
Glenwood.
Okay. So yeah, it does when you don't have that leader to bring the ball up and, you know, kind of run the offense. That is a big loss. Now, what does the Central State 8 look like this year as far as the competition? I know Chatham's going to be good, Lanphier. How does the whole Central State 8 kind of pan out?
Well, I think you're looking at 5, 6 teams, and even Taylorville. Taylorville's going to beat somebody in the upper half. They're going to surprise somebody some night, and you know, they're going to be shooting the ball really well and be able to win a basketball game. But you know, they you know, you got Lanphier, who's ranked 4th in the state, who no doubt, you know, I don't think the rankings come out again until the first part of the year. But you got Lanphier that's very good. You got Sacred Heart Griffin. You have the state rankings. We were 8, Lanphier was 4, and then there was 3 teams that received votes. So, you know, you're looking at 5 teams out of our conference that are considered top teams in the state of Illinois. So you got Sacred Heart Griffin, you got Springfield Southeast, and Chatham Glenwood. And, you know, by the time it's over, we're all going to beat each other up.
And speaking of standings, they had Cahokia number 2. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of base those standings on kind of what they have coming back from last year. That's got to be hard to do because obviously kids are going to develop between their junior and senior year, or not develop, I guess. But so that's got to be tough to do, to base it on last year's standings, where I thought Lincoln would be maybe a little higher than a number 8.
Well,
it's all rankings, though. They don't matter.
It's all rankings, and you got to play every game. So, you know, it's what you got coming back. Plus, you know, they do take into consideration what happens in the summertime, and you know, the IHSA opened that up. Well, 4 or 5 years ago, where we had 25 days you could work with kids, and you know, now they take a little more of what happens in the summertime.
Got a big game coming up this Friday, going over to Glenwood, taking on it. They beat up Rochester last night pretty good. I think Peyton Allen had 36 points. You know, kids going to be ready for that game. That's the last time we played. Last game we had last year was against Glenwood, so that's probably got to be something that was marked on all their calendars, you know, to get going.
Well, I hope so. You know, because I still taste that one, and you know, we let that get away and had a little help letting it get away. But
yeah, absolutely.
You know, hopefully that's still fresh in their mind, and you know, we have to, you know, be focused, because Peyton Allen's good enough to beat you by himself. So if you put too much emphasis on him, they have other players that you know, they've got kids that can shoot. Cole Harper's a 6'4" point guard, who's a junior, that's you know, one of the better players in our league. And you know, I think what they scored 53 last night. I think Allen had 31, 32, and
30-something.
Harper had 10, so there's 41, 42 of the 52 points, and that's about how it's been. So, you know, those 2 players are the 2 players that we have to be aware of and be able to stop.
So we got Friday night, Saturday night. Is that Jacksonville at home?
Play Jacksonville at home. Jacksonville has lost quite a bit last year, but their underclass was very good, so that'll be a challenge. The last 2 or 3 years, Jacksonville has come into Lincoln and you know, played exceptionally well. So, you know, we have to take them one at a time, and we've got Chatham first, and then we'll move on.
So that's 2 tough games in a row. Central State 8, tough competition. What today? A little shoot around. You gonna go do some scouting later on?
Well, they have the shootout. They help us out down there where we can. I'm gonna go down and watch 4 games today.
Down Springfield.
The only team that we really, well, we don't play Lanphier until really the last round, so we won't play them till late January. So we'll have a lot of time, and they're not there. They're playing over at the Assembly Hall against Peoria Emanuel. But we'll get to see Griffin, Chatham, Southeast, and Springfield High School. So those 4 are all playing someone. So we're going to go down and watch those 4 games.
Well, so just because you have a day off doesn't mean the coaches have a day off. You have other guys going to different places, or?
We're going to split up. Half of them, I'm going to watch all 4. Coach E's going to watch the first 2, Coach Greg the other 2, and And, you know, there's not a lot of other games going on when you got those 4 playing down there. So Jacksonville's not playing, Rochester's not playing, Taylorville, well, we played them last night. So we don't have the pairings for the Collinsville tournament yet, so we don't know who we're going to play there to scout. And, you know, we'll start guessing next weekend and probably try to catch a couple of those teams.
So the scout or the pairings for that usually come out maybe about a week and a half or so.
I would think next Sunday probably they'll be out. They'll give us one more week, and I'm sure it'll be next Sunday, Monday, sometime in that neighborhood that the pairings will be out. And they're pretty good about being on time when they say they're coming out.
Well, if any of those listeners want to go to that tournament, it's a good tournament. I'm sure there's still hotel rooms available. Go on RaylorBasketball.com to get any information you need for that. It's a good tournament, and a lot of schools that face a lot of the southern schools that we don't play up here. So you get to see a little different, you know, some different teams that you could face later on as far as regionals and sectionals.
Well, yeah, and you know, they picked up Chicago Marshall, who, you know, beat us in the state tournament, I think maybe the last time we were there. But they picked them up. They picked up another school out of St. Louis, so it's a pretty strong field.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks for coming in. I know you got a little shoot-around coming on today, and then get some rest to go do some scouting and sit in the gym all day. And I'll be sitting on my couch all day while you're on a hard bleacher seat. Jake, you got anything? You just sitting there. You got
zoning out today.
Yeah. Jake's not feeling good. He's been under the weather. And speaking of under weather, would like to wish Jeff number 2 a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
He's had some health issues, but I hear he's doing pretty good, so we want to wish him a speedy recovery. I know he's listening right now, so get well soon. All right, Coach, thanks for coming in. You know, have fun today, and we'll see you next Friday at Glenwood.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be back. You're on the Cheap Seats, 96.3, WLCNonline.com, streaming 24/7 on the web. Good morning, sports fans. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, broadcasting live from Jake's Furnishings. Had to move us today because all the furniture in here. Said you had a pretty good week.
Had a good week, but the employees kept resetting the floor as fast as we were selling it. So
you got to get it out of here for those, you know, consumers to see it.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. They got a plan, and fortunately for me, they were taking the bull by the horns this week because I was in no shape to be here.
Well, when the boss is away, you sell more.
they did well. So
Good. That's good to hear.
can't complain.
Good to hear. Just had Coach Alexander in with us here.
Big year for the Central State 8.
It is, and you know, like he was talking about, you know, we just got done with probably one of the best tournaments in the state of Illinois, with the Eaton Thanksgiving tournament. You had some
Very
solid
teams
teams
come out of that.
You know, Cahokia came in ranked number 2 in the state, and whatever class we're in, 4A.
Sure.
And then you got Chicago Harlan coming down, athletic team. And Danville was pretty good this year. Morton, they're always solid. You know, they try to make you play their game.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and Champaign Centennial. So you look at those. Centennial, they went deep in the, you know, tournament last year. Cahokia went to state. Seton Academy was in our tournament last year. Not in it anymore. They were at state last year. So a lot of high expectations for that Raylor basketball team this year, and you know, very deep. You know, just like Coach Alexander was saying, any given night, a different player can step up and you know, be the high scorer, or you know, take over the team. And even people coming off the bench, you know, we're 7-8 kids deep. They come in, you're not missing a beat. So you know, like I said, a lot of high expectations, and I don't know if that's good or bad. A lot of pressure on the kids.
I think in Lincoln there should always be high expectations when it comes to our basketball team, and there usually are. You know, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You want the expectations there. You don't want to go out there and lay an egg for the season. You know,
that's true.
You know, they put the pressure on our teams, and we have a coach that's put that product out there year in, year out. And made us very proud to be Lincoln fans. You know, so.
And speaking of Lincoln fans, we've had good turnouts ever since, you know, game 1 of the tournament. Had a big crowd last night. You know, a silent crowd because there wasn't a whole lot to cheer about. You know, Lincoln comes out to a 9-0 lead, and it's over.
Yeah.
It's over in, you know, a minute.
And Taylorville, am I wrong? Taylorville made a good run at the end of the year last year. I thought they lost to Chatham right before Chatham played us.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we looked that up about a month or so ago before the season started, and I'm pretty sure you're right for once, Jake.
Hey, it doesn't happen often.
No, but when it does, it's monumental.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to, we got some big games today in the NCAA football.
Oh, boy.
Auburn, Missouri to kick it off.
Boy, since that big loss last week with Auburn and Alabama, and there's lots of talk, lots of grumbling from the Bama fans, you know. Yeah, what are you going to do, though? You know, that's the way the season played out. Missouri looks tough, too. I think Missouri's going to take Auburn. That's my opinion.
Well, for those of you who don't know, the Auburn-Alabama game came down to 1 second left in regulation. They send out a freshman field goal kicker that I don't even know if he's kicked very much all year. But their regular field goal kicker missed 3 field goals in the game. So they bring this guy in. He's going to try a 56-yard field goal, maybe
right in there,
maybe a little longer. 1 second left on the clock. Alabama attempts the field goal. Auburn has a guy in the end zone, catches it, runs at 108 yards.
Goes Devin Hester on him.
Vasher
takes it to the house.
Wasn't it Vasher that did
Vasher,
that?
yeah. Yep.
Vasher did that a few years ago. Ran it back for a touchdown. Auburn wins by 6 with 1 second.
Can't believe it.
No. And then Auburn, you know, Alabama, they had all their, well, the announcers called it all their fat guys out there.
Yeah.
They didn't have any athletes. Had all their fat guys out there to be blocking for this field goal and couldn't catch up to the receiver. And Auburn wins it. What a way to finish a game.
Oh, yeah. And
then kick Alabama out of a national title just like that.
Well, maybe.
Maybe?
I mean, there's still some variables that can play out here.
Well, there is, but you got right now Florida
State. It doesn't look
good. Something would have to happen dramatically. Right now it's looking like Florida State, Ohio State.
Well, you know, Duke does play football.
They do, but they're not going to beat Florida State. I'm going to say Florida State by 25, 30.
Now, what if Ohio State just, let's say they get by Michigan.
They get by Michigan
State? By 3.
Well, it's Ohio State. They're ranked number 2 right now.
Okay, but let's say Missouri puts up a 30-17 spot against Auburn.
Do you think Missouri could jump
possibly leapfrog
3 positions though? Because they're number 5 right now.
Well, that number 5's soft. They should be number 4. I mean, they should not be behind Auburn. Or
I don't know. It's just they've got 1 loss. I mean, then you look at Oklahoma State. I mean, I don't know. That's why we need to do it.
Their only loss, they were missing their starting quarterback as well.
Right. So and that's why that's an exact reason coming down to this right now.
Yeah.
We need to do it without the BCS and then have a playoff system.
Yeah. And this is the last year for it, right?
I'm thinking it starts next year, but we need it this year because if you look down, you look through the standings, I mean, you got Oklahoma State number 6 with 1 loss. Stanford, they have 2 losses. They're at 7. And Baylor, they have 1 loss, and they put up 50 points a game.
Yeah.
And they're 9. I don't know. It's hard to do. I wouldn't want to be in that position to have to rank these guys, but, you know,
I'd love to be in that position.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I like my position right now.
My Big Ten bias would never show through.
No. And this is the first year Ohio State's, they've been on a little suspension, so you know they're on it. And, you know, if they take care of business, they're going to be right there. And big news out of Florida State, Winston, all charges dropped. He will not be indicted or prosecuted or whatever. So that's big news for them because
it's not only big news for them, but also him. Now the Heisman, I would assume is in his pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's pretty much a lock.
Because, you know, you haven't heard much of Johnny Manziel the past 3 or 4 weeks. He kind of just where he needs to be, back in the background, and I'm sure he'll do something stupid here next week or two, and he'll be back in the headlines.
Bring the headlines to him, yeah. Absolutely.
Some other games going on today in the football world. Northern Illinois, we got to talk a little bit about that. They lost last night by 20.
Yeah.
They were ranked number 9.
Were they really up to 9?
Was it 9?
I was thinking they were still in the early teens, but
maybe it was 10, because if you get in the top 8, you're guaranteed a BCS. So this here, they get beat by Bowling Green pretty bad, so that's probably gonna. Well, they're 14. Okay,
but they're
yeah. So they're gonna drop. They're still gonna get in a. They're still gonna get in a bowl game, but it just won't be that elite.
Best football team in Illinois?
Well, I would say it's not Illinois and it's not Northwestern.
No, there you go.
Yeah, I would say best team in Illinois. So we'll have somebody there, NIU, and that's where state championships were held last week for high school, the NIU football field. And I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of that.
Very little.
Rochester with their 4th straight, and then SHG won. Some good games. SHG beat Montini, which they're a solid football team.
Solid. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that one.
So kind of just going all over the place here. We talk NCAA football, and now we're talking high school football. But we need to get to another break here and regroup. We'll talk some NBA. We'll talk some NFL. NFL's winding down, and we're going to talk some fantasy football too. It's coming down to the wire here for the WLCN Fantasy Football League, and we got playoffs starting.
Playoffs?
Next week. This is the last week. Right. So we'll give you a rundown on who's in contention, who's still in the running, and who's already made the playoffs, and who's winning, and who's going to come in here and pick out a nice recliner. I've got my eye on that thing over there.
Yeah, I've got my eye
right behind Jim.
Myself,
Jim,
actually.
You need that in your house. That leather thing. You get a chance, go sit in that thing. It's nice.
With the cup holders.
It's not even, I wouldn't even call it push button. You just lay your finger on there and it, whoop, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to go get my
adjustable
truck.
headrest. I mean, it's all there, man.
It is. Come out to Jake's, take a look at it. It's very nice, and as well as everything else here. I mean, he's got anything that you want, and if you don't have it, you can order it.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Jake's Furnishings, come out and see old Jake. He'll take care of you. He's been off for a week, so he's ready to do some selling.
I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah. All right, let's take a commercial break, and we'll be back after these messages. You're in the cheap seats, 96.3 WLCNonline.com. Good morning, sports fans. Lincoln, Logan County, you're in the cheap seats, 96.3 WLCNonline.com. Streaming 24/7 on the web. You can also watch our show on the web, online at WLCNonline.com, or you can go to Comcast Channel 5 and watch us on the television. We are, and we have two faces made for radio, so why they want to put us on TV, I don't know.
That's why we keep our hats down low.
Yes. And grow a beard.
Grow beards.
So
there you go.
Grow beards and wear our hats low. We are at Jake's Furnishings. Come on in. I'm sure he's having some kind of huge sale. He always does here, and he'll take good care of you. So come on by.
I think I got a couple of recliners like $180. They're normally like $400 and some recliners.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to point those out to me.
Nope. You were one person that was not eligible to purchase.
Okay. Oh. Man, it's double for me.
That's exactly right.
Man, that's fine. That's fine. Let's talk some football. We got to talk some NFL because it's coming down. We're in week 14. Playoff races are coming down to the wire. NFC East, Dallas 7-5.
Who would have thought the NFC West, in my opinion, strongest division in the NFC?
Oh, that was predicted that this year.
Really?
With San Francisco and Seattle?
I thought San Francisco and Seattle would be tough. I didn't think Arizona
I didn't think Arizona and then St. Louis.
And St. Louis has pulled off some wins this year, too. But, I thought the NFC North was going to be just
injuries.
Yeah, injuries all the way up and down.
With Green Bay and with Chicago. Detroit's kind of fortunate right now.
I was going to say, Detroit's been fortunate, and that's the reason they're, I think, on top of the division.
But they will find a way to lose, because that's what they do.
Is it?
So don't count out Chicago or Green Bay yet.
I don't know. I'm,
Well, Chicago is just, man, it's just so frustrating because
I'm a fan.
Well, that too, but the offense is finally clicking. We haven't seen an offense like this in Chicago for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And now the offense is clicking, moving the ball, but we can't stop anybody.
No.
Our defense we're hurting. We don't have Briggs. We don't have Tillman.
We lose
Urlacher. We lose Henry Melton at the beginning of the year. We lose another defensive tackle at the beginning of the year.
And Peppers played real well last week, but still, for the most part, for the year, he hasn't played.
Right.
It doesn't look like healthy.
And he's getting double and triple team because, the left side or, opposite side of Peppers, they're not doing anything. Every once in a while, Wooten, but they had to move him inside with all the injuries. And his natural position is a defensive end because he's quick and he's got that long frame. But it's just riddled with injuries, and it's so frustrating. Number one, we are big fans, and I got to stop watching it because Sundays my blood pressure just skyrockets.
I'm thinking it'd be easy to jump on the Seattle Seahawks bandwagon, though.
I'm not jumping on any wagon. I'm
just
not jumping off a wagon.
I don't know, man.
I'll just quit watching football.
There you go.
A good thing for fantasy football, because if your team's horrible, you
can watch other teams and root for anybody. Yeah.
So right now, let's just kind of go over playoff standings and just kind of see who's in, who's out, who's still in the running.
Right.
And I will let you know that as soon as this slow computer fires up.
For the Bears, though, real quick, you mentioned how the offense is clicking. They're doing that with McNown. Can't even talk right now. And he's obviously a different type quarterback than what Cutler is.
He is.
They're not the same kind of guy. Cutler is more of a gunslinger. He takes more chances.
Right.
Not anywhere near as patient in the pocket. Is he a better athlete and better thrower? I believe he is. But
yes.
At the same time, I'm thinking Trestman's offense, you may need that more calm in the pocket than what Cutler offers. So
here it comes.
How are you moving forward? Are you moving forward to Cutler?
Well,
I mean, you've been without him, and now I think you're going to have him back this week, though, right?
No, he's not playing Monday night.
He won't play Monday night either.
He's ruled out for Monday night. And you're right, that's a big decision. Rumors are, let's put the franchise tag on him for a year and see how he does next year with hopefully a healthier team. But you have to have a solid backup.
Yeah.
And if McCown is willing to stay, and I think he loves his role there, he knows he's been in the league for 11, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his role.
Yeah.
He's not a starter, but he can come in and win you some games.
Yeah.
He's not going to play 16 games a year. If he can get 4 or 5 starts in a year, I think he's happy with that. And
he had a good interview and kind of discussed that same. So
yeah.
It's just kind of interesting how you can see a different avenue of how McDowell manages the game compared to Cutler, and the Bears fans seem to like it because it's not as herky-jerky, it's not as quick. I personally don't like it. I like the way Cutler plays. I don't like it when he's throwing 3 or 4 interceptions.
Right.
But at the same time, I love it when he's throwing 50-yard bombs right on the numbers.
Yeah.
So
he's a game changer. He can make that big play, which changes the game. But I think he's had a bad rap since he's came to Chicago, and I think that stuck with the fans. He had a little difficult time in Denver, so he comes over to Chicago with people think he has this bad attitude, which I don't really know that that's the case.
Yeah.
I think just people don't like Jay Cutler, so therefore McCown comes in, he does good, does solid work, and now they're wanting Cutler out. I don't think that's the answer. I think you have to sign Cutler to, I wouldn't go any more than 5 years, maybe a 3-year contract if feasible, because you have other needs. So you can't put all your money into a quarterback where you need defensive linemen. You're going to need another linebacker. Our secondary is, I don't even know the word for it on air because they would kick me off. Horrible.
Yeah.
Chris Conte, I don't know if I've ever, I don't want to say despise, but he doesn't offer anything to that Bears defense, especially when he's playing 30 yards downfield. Can't come up, stop the run.
No.
And if you're playing 30 yards down the field, you should be have over-the-top help with that receiver, and he's always about 2 seconds late.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, and it's frustrating, and my wife is about ready to ban me from the house because I'm yelling at him and he won't listen to me.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
But I know I'm just a peon talking on air about these professional players, but when it's so obvious,
yeah,
and I know it's obvious because it's all over Facebook too, so I'm not wrong. But man, it's so frustrating, and I don't know what to do. I don't know the answers. But
they have so many holes. How much money do you want to put into a guy that, with all these holes, do you want to fill in? And that's talking more of the business side of football, I guess, than anything. But let's face it, that's kind of what the sport is nowadays. So, I'm more of the franchise him, draft a quarterback, and see if Trestman can turn that quarterback into your next starter.
Well, then you go into issues where will Cutler accept that franchise tag? I think he will.
He wouldn't have an option, to be honest.
Well, but
you don't. And then he's playing for his next contract.
It's going to be a pretty high tag.
Yeah.
Because if you take all the averages of the
previous years and the quarterbacks, they actually did some figures on it. I believe it's right around $15 million.
Yeah.
So that's probably what you're going to pay him.
Yeah.
You're probably going to pay him between 12 and 15 anyways. Even
if you could get him for $12 million over the next 3 years, $36 million.
I don't think they'll do it.
Huh?
I don't think they'll do it.
You don't think they'll do it?
No, I think he's one.
Well, what's coming out of the draft? Do you want to take your shot with a Manziel or?
It's such a deep draft.
Winston, is he coming out?
There's more than that, though. I mean, I would say there's 7 legit quarterbacks coming out of this draft. On top of that, it's probably the richest free agent draft class or free agent class there's been in years as well. There's probably 6 starting quarterbacks that'll be free agents.
True that.
So I mean, there's just.
Well, do you take your chances and go maybe a late second, early third round for a quarterback? Do you think one of those top 7 will drop that far? Because you have other needs. We have to have defensive linemen. We have to have a free safety or strong safety. Tillman, he's hurt. What's he going to be like next year?
Yeah.
Can we move him back to free safety? Is that an option? Move him back to free safety. Go get a corner, a man-to-man corner that can, stop a Calvin Johnson. We need a big physical corner that can, like a Richard Sherman that can.
They don't breed too many of them.
No, they don't. Hey, this is just saying what I need. What we need and what we're going to get are two different things. But I don't know. They need so much, and they're so close, but yet so far away.
So far away. Well, we got playoffs.
We got playoffs right now. Seattle, they've clinched. They're 11 and 1.
They're monsters right now.
Beast. And New Orleans 9-3. Looks like they're going to make it. Detroit 7-5. They're leading the North. Dallas is leading the East. The wild card right now.
There it goes again.
There we go. Just timed out on me. Carolina playing solid football right now, 9-3.
Yeah.
And San Francisco. Those are the 2 wild cards right now.
Philadelphia right outside.
Philly, Arizona. Chicago's going to need a lot of help.
Yeah.
They're setting at 6-6. I mean, they're going to have to win out, and hopefully these other guys lose 2 games. Which
that's very possible.
It's possible, but I don't see it happening. Green Bay 5-6-1. So, it's coming down to the wire for this, and I mean it's. I don't know. A lot of things are going to happen, and we'll see how the next, 2-3 weeks pan out. Over in the AFC, Denver 10-2, New England 9-3, Indianapolis 8-4, Cincinnati 8-4, Kansas City and Baltimore are in the wild card right now, and I'd say Miami too at 6-6. So that's
Kansas City's been really the surprise for me there. I mean.
They've lost
and
a couple games in a row.
And Indy's has played for the most part for the year, played well. So, a few surprise teams, and Pittsburgh not playing as well as I thought they had.
Real quick, before we take commercial break, Houston 2-11. They just fired their coach, Garrett Kubiak.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy just had a dismal year. He's had some health issues this year, and they've got 3 games left, and they parted ways. So Garrett Kubiak is unemployed. We need to take our last commercial break. Got about 12 minutes left in the show. We come back, we're going to talk some fantasy football, update everybody on that and where we're at. So stay tuned. You're in the cheap seats. 96.3 WLCNonline.com. Welcome back, sports fans. You're in the cheap seats on 96.3 FM, WLCNonline.com.
That's easy for you to say.
That is. That's a tongue twister. We are at Jake's Furnishings. We're making deals left and right here. I think I just made a big deal.
You can't steal a recliner without me tackling you.
That's his Harry Carey impersonation. If you guys,
it ain't good, but it's better than Will Ferrell.
It's not good, but it's good enough.
It's better than Will Ferrell.
We're going to talk some. We're talking some fantasy football right now, Jake. We've got a WLCN fantasy football challenge going on right now, and it's coming down to the wire. Your buddy, we touched down there, 11-1. He's lost one time all year. And one. He tied. He's 11-1-1.
He said he wanted to kiss your sister.
I can arrange that.
I don't know why.
I'll take him home for Christmas with me, and he can accomplish that. TDs and beer. That's Travis Hasselbrock. He's 8-4, and then we got a race for third place. Top three in each division are going to make the playoffs, with the top guy in each division getting a bye. So right now we touch down there. He's got a bye next week, and TDs and beer are gonna. He's either gonna play. Looks like Team Taylor's dad or Barry's boy.
All right.
So,
well, he sent me a message saying you're welcome for the free pizza. So I don't know what that meant.
Well, do you still have a stack of cards up here? We owe some people some pizzas, but right now our pizza giver is under the weather. So
there you go.
We'll take care of that at a later date. I have it all on record though. Who's won what? That's the NFC division. Over in the AFC, we got Team Red Dogs at 9-4. He still has a chance to get that bye week, but we got Foosball Fanatics at 8-5 right behind him. And then for third place, Bear Down and Buttus Cuts, 7-6. So this week is a very, very important week for Team Taylor's dad and Barry's boy, as well as Bear Down and Buttus Cuts. Because once the playoffs start, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Your buddy, 11-1-1, Justin, that record is 0-0 after this week.
That's exactly right.
And then
one loss, you're done.
And then, some of those teams that have already clinched, especially week 16 and week 17, which week 17 will be our championship, you really have to pay attention on your starting lineup because some of those guys only play about a half, depending on, if they have the division or a playoff spot wrapped up. So,
absolutely.
It's going to come down to the wire. It's been very exciting. And
that new TV or that new recliner just out of the reach of so many.
So, it's awesome.
It's good. Man, that's a heck of a league.
It is. I want to be
free jump-in league. You want a few hundred, almost $1,000, probably more than $1,000 worth of gifts.
Yeah.
Right
there.
Well,
it's split up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still $1,000 worth of gifts, and that's more than you're gonna get if you do a pay league, depending on the.
That's what I'm saying. You're just jumping in, having fun, going out, hanging out at the bowling alley, pick some teams or players, and
and then I don't know. We'll get with the guys. Maybe have another something at the bowling alley because it is sponsored by Logan Lanes as well. Logan Lanes Family Fun Center. It's where we had the draft. They have all the games out there too, DirecTV.
Yep.
So get on out there, and maybe at the end of the year, maybe we can meet up there again and give the winners their
NFC
prizes.
championship game or something, and
have a little bash to award the winners their prizes, and just kind of reflect on the whole season. Because I know a lot of leagues that's what they do. They have a year-ending party. Everybody just gets together and
divvy up the prizes and go
trash talk, and your team stunk and I won. You owe me this. You owe me that. But a free recliner and
lots
a
of
TV
pizzas being thrown around, and
and Pete, that's a lot of teams for the high score of that week. It's like $5. Well, a pizza, it's at least $12. So man, that's
$12.
So hopefully we can do this again next year. I know I've had some issues. I've been trying to send the results to Jeff. He runs the website for WLCN. I think I finally have it figured out how to do it, and he finally got the update the other day. So kind of you have to save it to like
season's
work
just
perfect.
about over.
Yeah.
You'll forget it by next year, and then we'll start this whole
again. And it's been a good league, and it's fun and something to do and keep track of.
Yeah, a couple of guys that I talked to, man, they, whether they're winning the league like Justin or they're a little lower down the totem pole here, they're enjoying it, man. They're talking a little trash, behind the scenes.
And we had a couple of entries this year that I don't think they really knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
And I hope they had fun with it. That's Team Molly and Team Bays. They've never done a fantasy football league before, so I don't know that they really knew what they were getting themselves into. But hopefully they had fun, and they both won a game this year, and that's good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We'll see how it pans out this week. Well, let's go over this week and see who's playing who, just to kind of see where it could pan out, and we might run out of time before I can pull it up. I'm about ready to chuck this thing across the room.
You're pretty happy.
Yeah,
with
Bryson was trying to do some homework on it the other night.
I don't know why you just don't use your phone. It's about 4 times faster.
It is, but I can see this.
Oh, all right.
Team Taylor's dad's playing Team Molly, and we Touchdown there's playing Team Bays. Barry's boy plays Here Comes the Bane. This one could be a Bear Down and Foosball Fanatics. That's going to be a huge game this week. Dennis Wilson and Mike O'Brien, because both of those guys looking to fill in that third spot for the playoffs. Butters Cuts, they're in the running. That's Greg Alexander and Blinn Bates taking on Team Parrot. And a good thing with this website on ESPN, it gives you projections.
Yeah.
They're not accurate, but they're pretty darn close. And just kind of looking over some of the projections, it's coming down to the wire. Foosball Fanatics, they are favored by 16, 17 points, but it is pretty close, believe it or not. I don't know. It's got to be rigged. Vegas, they got something on something, because how can they, even with like your parlays and stuff, how do they get that stuff so close? I took Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're favored by 9.5. They're up by 10 with like a minute and 30 to go. Oakland kicks a field goal. They lose by 7. Spread's 9.5.
Yep.
I lose.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
I would have.
Huh?
Went the opposite direction on that bet.
I know.
I go against Dallas any time I can. So.
I do too, but they usually play decent on Thanksgiving Day. Whereas Detroit
Since Romo's
don't.
been there?
Yeah, I think. No, don't they?
No.
Oh, well,
not really.
I got some false information. So
must have been from a Cowboy fan.
No, it's from my brother-in-law. I'm not listening to him again.
No?
All right, well.
He's a basketball guy, that,
so stay tuned. Go on to ESPN.com. It's hard to access. I want to figure out how just anybody can access the website, but you have to have an account and all this other stuff. So maybe next year we'll try to find a different site that is more viewer, listener friendly, where they can just go on and look. But, we'll figure that out as we go. Well, Jake, our time has come and gone. Saturday morning here at your store.
Yeah.
You're probably just ready to get to work and
ready to take a nap.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Start swiping some debit cards.
I think today's the first day I've worked in about a week, so I'm due.
Well, when you're the boss, you can do that.
I was a little under the weather. I'd rather have worked all week, to be honest.
Well,
I like my job.
Get healed up because...
I like it here.
Well, you should. Because if you don't like your job, you're not making money.
Well, that's a good point.
Well
put.
I guess you wouldn't like your job if you're not making money.
Yeah, I don't think people would like me much if I wasn't making money.
It's all about the Benjamins. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Cheap Seats. I'm not sure where we'll be next week. I know we got some things going on. We got Santa Claus at the rec center. We'll get with Jim after this and see if we're going to do a show out there or what we're going to do. Might be a little hectic.
You could be dressed up as an elf.
No.
I can see it.
Little tights, tighty tights.
Well, whatever you want to wear. I look like the abominable snowman.
I look like Cy when he dressed up as a, Duck Dynasty. But yeah, come on to the rec center. All the kids meet Santa Claus. Give them your list. Get a treat. I know there's free cookies, milk, coloring. WLCN 96.3. They'll be out there filming it.
Yep.
So it'll be online, be on TV. So it's going to be a good thing. The kids love it. They've been doing this for years, and the kids just
they
amazing.
do. I've sponsored it a few years as well, and kids do love it. It's a great thing for the community.
So. And yeah, I'd like to thank WLCN to do that for them, and it's a good thing. So come on out to the rec center next Saturday, and we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. This is Cheap Seats 96.3 WLCNonline.com.
Good day.